They lurk in the shadows. They strike without warning, and when they do, survival is anything but guaranteed. From massive sharks and man-eating lions to swarms of vicious piranhas and unstoppable grizzly bears, killer animal movies tap into our deepest, most primal fears. But which ones truly stand above the rest? In this video, we're counting down the top 20 best killer animal movies of all time. From cult classics to Hollywood legends, each one more intense than the last. Some will make you sweat, others will make you swear off the outdoors forever. So grab your popcorn, lock the doors, and dive in, if you dare. And hey, if you love thrilling movie lists like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a countdown that bites back. Now let's get started. 20th place. Grizzly, 1976. A national park becomes a bloody battleground in this cult classic about a massive rogue grizzly bear that begins attacking unsuspecting campers. Park Ranger Michael Kelly must team up with a helicopter pilot and a naturalist to stop the 18-foot predator before it strikes again. Clearly inspired by the success of Jaws, Grizzly trades water for wilderness and a shark for a towering Kodiak bear, delivering thrills with a 70s B-movie flair. Despite its modest budget and sometimes over-the-top moments, yes, a bazooka is involved, it packs surprising suspense and raw tension. What it lacks in polish, it makes up for in sheer animal terror and nostalgic charm. For fans of killer animal flicks, Grizzly stands tall as a gnarly, claws-out thriller that helped define the genre's early days. 19th place. Backcountry, 2014. A romantic getaway into the wild turns into a nightmare in Backcountry, a chilling survival thriller based on a true story. Alex and Jen venture deep into a remote Canadian forest, eager to disconnect and enjoy nature. But as they veer off the beaten path, ignoring warnings and discarding maps, the trip becomes a test of endurance. When they realize they're lost, desperation sets in. Then comes the real horror, a massive black bear silently stalking them through the dense wilderness. The film is a slow-burn descent into terror, with long stretches of eerie quiet interrupted by shocking, visceral violence. With its realistic pacing, tight focus on two vulnerable characters, and heart-pounding bear encounters, Backcountry grips you by the throat and drags you into the woods, where nature isn't peaceful, but deadly. 18th place. Jaws 2, 1978. The terror returns to Amity Island in Jaws 2, where Chief Brody, again portrayed by the commanding Roy Scheider, senses something isn't right beneath the calm surface of the ocean. As strange accidents begin to pile up and summer tourism kicks into full swing, Brody finds himself battling more than just waves. With sun-soaked beaches, teenage thrill-seekers, and that unforgettable John Williams score, the sequel amps up the suspense while introducing a younger, more vulnerable cast of characters. Though living in the shadow of a cinematic titan, Jaws 2 crafts its own legacy with chilling underwater tension and a few jaw-dropping moments. It's a gripping continuation that reminds us the ocean may look peaceful, but something deadly could be lurking just below. 17th place. Arachnophobia, 1990. Directed by the legendary Frank Marshall and produced by Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment, Arachnophobia is a pitch-perfect blend of horror and heart. When celebrated Hong Kong toxicologist Dr. Ross Jennings moves with his family to a sleepy Californian town, he discovers it's being plagued by a lethal species of spider. Teaming up with eccentric exterminator Delbert McClintock, the pair investigate a wave of bizarre deaths. Arachnophobia expertly builds suspense in everyday settings, barns, garages, and living rooms, transforming the mundane into sources of terror. Tense, clever, and occasionally laugh-out-loud funny, this film is as much a homage to creature features as it is an affectionate portrait of rural community, anchored by strong performances and Spielberg-level production values. It's perfect for viewers who love their scares with a hint of small-town charm. 16th place. The Reef, 2010. In The Reef, a routine sailing trip off Australia's coast quickly becomes a desperate fight for survival when a real great white shark begins hunting the stranded crew. After their boat capsizes on a reef, friends Luke, Matt, Susie, Kate, and Warren decide to swim toward a distant island. But one by one, the water claims them in tense, gruesome detail. Its raw realism, filmed with real sharks and natural scenery, draws praise for haunting atmosphere and unrelenting suspense. The final survivor must face a hammering finale against one calculated apex predator. Survival horror reaches its purest form here. No gimmicks, no overscripting, just man versus nature in its most primal, terrifying confrontation. 15th place. Beast, 2022. When widowed father Dr. Nate Samuels takes his two daughters on a wildlife trip through South Africa, he hopes to reconnect with them. But their journey turns into a savage survival test when they're hunted by a rogue lion that has turned against all humans after poachers destroyed its pride. Set in vast, unforgiving landscapes, Beast delivers nerve-shredding suspense as the family battles for survival, often trapped inside a broken-down vehicle while the lion prowls just inches away. The film cleverly blends emotional stakes with primal terror, forcing a father to face not only his inner demons, but nature's most brutal predator. With tense pacing, gritty realism, and a nail-biting climax where man and beast go head-to-head, Beast roars as a modern-day creature thriller fueled by desperation, courage, and fury. 14th place. Rogue, 2007. A group of tourists looking for adventure on a river safari in the Australian outback get far more than they bargained for when their boat is attacked by a colossal saltwater crocodile. Stranded on a tiny mud island as the tide rises, their only way out means swimming through the monster's hunting grounds. Rogue wastes no time plunging viewers into thick atmospheric dread, blending the raw beauty of the landscape with the lurking horror beneath the water surface. The crocodile, more cunning than expected, picks them off one by one in a series of chilling ambushes. With minimal CGI and stunning practical effects, the creature feels disturbingly real. This is survival horror at its most primal. A taut, nerve-wracking battle against an ancient predator in a deadly, sun-scorched wilderness. 13th place. Lake Placid, 1999. Something monstrous is lurking in the serene waters of Black Lake, Maine, and it has a taste for humans. When a diver is ripped in half, a team of mismatched specialists, including a sarcastic paleontologist, a local sheriff, and a wild reptile expert, descend on the lake to solve the mystery. What they find is a gigantic crocodile with a massive appetite and unexpected intelligence. Lake Placid blends sharp humor with shocking violence, keeping the tone fun even as the body count rises. The film's standout moments include aerial croc attacks, underwater ambushes, and a delightfully twisted subplot involving a local feeding the beast like a pet. With fast-paced action and tongue-in-cheek charm, it's a killer animal movie that doesn't take itself too seriously. And that's exactly why it's so unforgettable. 12th place. Anaconda, 1997. A National Geographic film crew treks deep into the Amazon to shoot a documentary, but their path crosses with Paul Cerrone, John Voight, a snake-obsessed hunter tracking a legendary giant green anaconda. The tension coils fast as the team realizes Cerrone's obsession and the snake's hunger are equally deadly. Anaconda delivered pulpy thrills and sharp one-liners with massive serpents attacking boats, swallowing victims head first, and building toward an epic final carnage showdown. The film's popularity was boosted by the star power of Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube, who play key members of the crew and bring energy and charisma to the screen. With a box office haul of $136 million, it launched a franchise and became a defining entry in 90s eco-horror, slick, gnarly, and unashamedly big-scaled. 11th place, Alligator, 1980. An urban legend comes gruesomely to life when a baby alligator, flushed down a toilet in Chicago, survives in the sewers and grows to monstrous size. After feeding on discarded lab animals pumped full of experimental growth hormones, the creature mutates into a 30-foot killing machine. When mangled bodies begin turning up, a gritty detective teams up with a reptile expert to hunt the beast through dark, labyrinthine tunnels. Alligator mixes city crime grit with monster movie mayhem, offering unforgettable set pieces like a rampage through a wedding reception and a final explosive confrontation in the streets. The film's smart blend of satire, suspense, and old-school creature horror gives it a unique identity. It's a razor-toothed, sewer-dwelling nightmare that turns an urban myth into full-scale chaos. 10th place, The Edge, 1997. Stranded in the unforgiving Alaskan wilderness after a plane crash, a billionaire played by Anthony Hopkins must survive alongside a rugged photographer, portrayed by Alec Baldwin. With civilization far behind and nature closing in, the two men face freezing conditions, internal mistrust, and something even worse, a massive, relentless bear tracking their every move. The Edge blends man versus nature survival with intense psychological drama, keeping viewers gripped as primal instincts take over. Featuring sharp dialogue, powerful performances, and breathtaking landscapes, the film explores not only physical endurance, but also the thin line between reason and savagery. It's a high-stakes adventure where brains meet brute force, and not everyone makes it out alive. 9th place, Piranha, 1978. When a secret military experiment goes wrong, a swarm of genetically modified piranhas is accidentally released into a popular river used by campers, tourists, and children. What follows is a fast-paced, blood-soaked nightmare as the tiny terrors devour everything in their path. Piranha combines horror and satire with surprising effectiveness, offering a tongue-in-cheek tone without losing the edge of danger. Its use of practical effects, sharp editing, and escalating chaos made it a standout in the killer animal genre. While clearly riding the wave of Jaws' success, it carves out its own identity with creative scares and a wicked sense of humor. The film's legacy lives on through remakes and sequels, but the original remains a cult favorite. It's a fun, gory thrill ride that makes even shallow streams feel deadly. 8th place, Deep Blue Sea, 1999. What if sharks weren't just dangerous? They were brilliant. In Deep Blue Sea, a group of scientists tries to cure Alzheimer's by genetically enhancing mako sharks. But the experiment goes horribly wrong when the sharks turn on their creators inside a high-tech underwater lab. With the facility flooding and escape routes vanishing, the survivors must outwit creatures that are no longer just predators. They're calculating killers. The film delivers non-stop suspense, creative kills, and one unforgettable scene featuring Samuel L. Jackson that audiences still talk about today. Combining sleek visual effects with claustrophobic settings, Deep Blue Sea remains one of the most entertaining entries in modern aquatic horror. It's loud, intense, and unapologetically thrilling, a wild reminder that science fiction and creature features can still pack a serious bite. 7th place, The Shallows, 2016. In The Shallows, the ocean becomes a brutal battleground as a lone surfer, played by Blake Lively, is left stranded just offshore with a deadly great white shark circling nearby. What begins as a peaceful escape turns into a test of strength, endurance, and willpower. The film strips the survival thriller down to its essentials: one woman, one predator, and a ticking clock. with breathtaking cinematography and relentless tension. Every crashing wave and distant fin raises the stakes, making the viewer feel just as exposed as the heroine. Lively delivers a physically intense and emotionally grounded performance, carrying the film with grit and vulnerability. Visually stunning and nerve-wracking from start to finish, The Shallows transforms a serene beach into a sunlit nightmare, proving you don't need much to deliver a powerful survival story. 6th place. Crawl, 2019. When a Category 5 hurricane hits Florida, a young woman races to find her injured father, only to become trapped with him in a flooding house. But the rising water isn't the only danger. Hungry alligators have invaded, turning the basement into a deadly hunting ground. Crawl combines natural disaster mayhem with tight survival horror, creating an atmosphere of constant dread. Every movement through the submerged crawl space could be their last, as snapping jaws lurk just below the surface. The pacing is relentless, the set design claustrophobic, and the tension rarely lets up. Produced by Sam Raimi, the film is both sleek and savage, delivering thrills without ever losing sight of the human drama. It's a lean, intense battle against nature's fury, with teeth, floodwaters, and no easy way out. 5th place. The Gray, 2011. After a plane crash leaves a group of oil workers stranded in the frozen wilderness, survival becomes a brutal battle, not just against the cold, but against a pack of wolves stalking them through the snow. Leading the group is a hardened man grappling with personal loss, played by Liam Neeson in one of his most intense roles. The Gray is more than a creature feature. It's a meditation on mortality, fear, and resilience. Each scene is steeped in bleak atmosphere and philosophical undertones, amplified by haunting landscapes and gut-wrenching tension. As nature closes in and hope fades, the film asks what it means to face death on your own terms. Brutal, reflective, and deeply human. The Gray stands out for blending survival horror with existential depth in a way few films dare. 4th place. Cujo, 1983. A friendly St. Bernard becomes a source of relentless terror in Cujo, adapted from the Stephen King novel of the same name. After being bitten by a rabid bat, the once docile dog transforms into a savage killer. The true horror unfolds when a mother and her young son are trapped in a broken-down car during a sweltering heat wave, with Cujo lurking outside, waiting. What makes this film terrifying isn't just the snarling dog, but the slow psychological breakdown inside that car, the heat, the fear, the helplessness. With minimal locations and limited cast, Cujo builds dread through claustrophobic tension and emotional realism. It's a masterclass in making something ordinary, a family pet, into something horrifying. This isn't a story about monsters from nature. It's about how quickly comfort can turn into a cage. 3rd place. The Ghost and the Darkness, 1996. Set in colonial Kenya in the late 1800s, The Ghost and the Darkness tells the terrifying true story of two man-eating lions that brought railroad construction to a standstill. A determined engineer, faced with mounting casualties among his workers, joins forces with a skilled but unpredictable hunter to stop the beasts. The African wilderness is both stunning and menacing, and the lions, more than just animals, become symbols of unstoppable force. The film balances historical adventure with high-stakes predator suspense, using grand cinematography and powerful performances to tell a story rooted in real-world horror. It's not just a tale of survival, but of obsession, reputation, and the thin line between civilization and savagery. Atmospheric, tense, and beautifully shot, The Ghost and the Darkness is a haunting reminder that nature does not yield easily. 2nd place. The Birds, 1963. Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds turns an ordinary setting into something terrifying. as a small California town is suddenly and inexplicably attacked by flocks of violent birds. What begins as an unsettling curiosity soon spirals into chaos as the birds strike with increasing fury and precision. Hitchcock masterfully builds suspense through silence, space, and uncertainty, making even a single bird perched on a wire feel threatening. The film's refusal to explain the phenomenon only adds to its dread, leaving viewers trapped in the same confusion and fear as the characters. With minimal music and deliberate pacing, it's a slow, suffocating descent into panic. The Birds remains one of the most psychologically disturbing animal attack films ever made, not because of gore, but because it makes the familiar feel suddenly, irrevocably unsafe. And in first place is Jaws, 1975. More than just a killer shark movie, Jaws is the film that redefined cinematic suspense. When a monstrous great white begins terrorizing the beach town of Amity Island, the community is gripped by fear. A reluctant police chief, a fearless shark hunter, and a brilliant oceanographer team up to stop it, each driven by different motives. What makes Jaws unforgettable isn't just the threat in the water, but how it's revealed, through suggestion, sound, and masterful pacing. Steven Spielberg's direction turns absence into terror, using John Williams' pulse-quickening score and clever camera work to make the unseen scarier than the seen. The mechanical shark may have malfunctioned on set, but the result was a masterpiece of restraint and atmosphere. Jaws didn't just scare moviegoers, it made an entire generation afraid to go back in the water. And there you have it, the 20 best killer animal movies of all time. From bloodthirsty beasts to unforgettable suspense, these films prove that nature can be just as terrifying as any monster. If you enjoyed the countdown, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment letting us know your favorite killer animal movie, or one we might have missed. Want to watch the movies from the list? You'll find links to both physical and digital copies right below in the video description. Want even more? Join the channel for early access to upcoming videos, exclusive discounts on merchandise, and other awesome perks. And while you're at it, don't forget to check out our merch store. We've got something wild waiting for you. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes it's not the monsters you should fear, it's the animals